Northbound Writers. An excerpt from Gerald and Marge by Barbara E. Tift. This is a short story published in an anthology by the Denham's Poet Society in 2013. Gerald and Marge are a couple in their late 80s, new residents of a nursing home. They're sitting in their room, and an aide enters. "It's time for lunch now. We need to get you both to the lunchroom." "We want to eat here," Gerald said. "No, we all need to eat in the lunchroom." Gerald was silenced by the sight of his wife struggling to transfer from the oversized jerry chair to the wheelchair. He studied their movements, the movements of the aide and his wife, and followed silently behind. In the lunchroom, many of the residents were already eating. The aide placed the trays before Marge and Gerald and left them alone to assist other residents who could not feed themselves. A young man in a motorized wheelchair sat crying nearby. A metal brace was affixed to the back of the chair to hold his neck in place. Gerald had seen these and others in the hospital after the war. The aide went to the young man with his tray. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" The young man cried silently, refusing the nourishment the aide offered. "I'm sorry you're so sad, dear. What's wrong?" "I want to go home," he said with difficulty. "I'm sorry, but you know we are taking good care of you here." "I want to go home," he repeated adamantly. Gerald shoved his tray aside, and his booming voice echoed throughout the lunchroom. "Well, I want to go home, too!" Another voice from the corner of the room echoed his, a fellow in a wheelchair who wore a bandana with a Confederate flag emblazoned shouted, "I want to go home, too!" An old lady repeated the shout. The cries of "I want to go home" grew into a chorus. Someone broke into a sob. The aide and her cohorts scurried from resident to resident, trying to calm them. Nurse Eagleton appeared in the doorway, alarmed. "Take the ones who can eat by themselves back to their room," she ordered. The aide took Gerald's arm to assist him. He brushed her hand away. "My wife goes first." "Fine," she said. Gerald followed behind, listening in satisfaction as the chorus of unhappy diners faded in the distance. To read the whole story, purchase a copy of the Northbound Writers anthology, soon to be published in a second printing in the spring.